We have here the 2024 Specialized Sirrus X 5.0 in a size large, weighing in at 10.77 kilos, and in pounds that is 23 pounds 12 ounces. Stay tuned to after video. We're here for your buy sound test on this bike right here. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and today I have for you guys a very exciting bike. This is the 2024 Specialized Sirrus X 5.0 in a size large, and this thing retails for $2,250. This is their newest iteration of the model, and as you guys can see, we have another hole here. We have something spectacular about this bike that other bikes do not have. This is the year of the holes. To start off with the Trek Madone. Now we have another hole right here where you would assume a seat tube will go down to the bottom bracket to reassure stiffness. This bike does not have this. But why did they do this? They did this to go ahead and make this bike more comfortable, more vertically. They added vertical compliancy to this bike by taking away that seat tube and making it kind of a floating area to allow more compliancy to the rider. They already did this with the Future Shock up here in the front, where the rider has his hands, their shoulders, and their elbows there. This is to relieve stress. This is to take away pressure. This suspension moves up and down, but now they did this to this bike. Now, some people might assume or insinuate that this is going to make this bike have much sway back and forth because there's not anything connecting the seat tube to this bike. But I can assure you that while riding around the block, while riding up and down the streets, going all around the areas around here, which I have, and I'm about 200 pounds, this bike feels very solid. Now, I could sit here and say that maybe some riders that are super strong pro riders, maybe if they're looking to take this out into gravel or whatever, you might get a little bit extra sway than what you're used to. But this is a commuter bike. This is a bike that can do all around. This is still part of the Sirrus lineup. The Specialized Sirrus was made by them for a commuter bike, but the X model is made for a commuter that can do, that wouldn't be held back by only street. You can literally take this on the gravel, on the grass, on the sidewalks. This bike has no bounds and go wherever it likes. So I think they did a pretty good job with this. This is my first time that I've seen a floating seat tube in the longest time since like Kestrel back in the day. They used to have a tri bike like that. I think it's a cool design. Again, there's only so much you can do to a bike. It's 2023. I mean, what else can you change to the bike besides changing the material to it or shaping the design? I made a video on this bike in the past where I said this might be hinted at the new Roubaix, but there's some things that go behind it because it needs to have two solid triangles to make it UCI legal. This obviously has a trapezoid there. So I think it's a very cool bike for what it is. They did lower the price from last year's X 5.0, which I think was $2,600. I think it gives this bike a little bit of a heads up advantage to other commuter bikes, especially someone who wants a bike that they don't know if they want to do strictly road riding, or maybe they live in somewhere that has bad roads. Maybe they live somewhere where it's some off the beaten path. You have the opportunity to ride this bike with some comfort on it too. The bike can take up to a 42C tire. This bike comes with a 32C tire on here now. It comes with a nice gravel or Pathfinder tire with a smooth ergonomic strip in the middle with some more aggressive bites on the outside in case you do go into that dirt. The bike is a full carbon fiber frame. It is their 9R carbon. 9R is going to be a little bit more of their heavier carbon, their more durable carbon, but it is still pretty light for 24 pounds for a commuter bike. So that is my take on it. I am by no means an engineer, but I have been in the bike business for a very long time, and I do think this is a very nice bike in terms of what it should be meant for. A commuter riding around, going through the streets, navigating from the point to point, for sure. If you want to take this and make it a drop down handlebar and compete with it in gravel and bound, I don't think it's the best. You'll probably lose some watts there, but only time will tell to see how this bike holds up. But I think, I mean, you have a lot of structural points here. You have it on the down tube, you have it a connection to the rear stays, and also all the way back. So I do think that it will hold up pretty well. With this bike, they also did give you a bunch of places for water bottle cages. Water bottle cage here, water bottle cage here. You have a storage spot up here for a bento box. You have mounting points here for side racks or front racks. You also have areas for fenders here as well. So there is a lot of backpacking you can do with this bike. And again, it's a bike that literally can be used for everything. I think it's a very cool bike. It also comes in a off-white color, and this is kind of the raspberry purple color. It does also have integrated reflectivity in the paint. So actually, if you're riding at nighttime and a light was to hit this frame, it would light up and illuminate just like a reflector, which is pretty cool. I don't know why they put a square taper bottom rack in here, but we'll talk about it later. So let me go through this whole bike, talk to you about the specs, and then we'll be done with this video. So starting off with the cockpit on here, we have a specialized alloy handlebar, a 31.8 clamp size for this handlebar. Something's nice. You could add a carbon fiber bar down the road. You do have a specialized stem on here, which is a future stem that does have the ability to add a integrated garment mount for this later on down the road. And it comes with a Future Shock 1.5. This is a spring system. It's 20 millimeters of travel that will go ahead and be above the platform, so that when riding this bike, you're gonna get some of that nice comfort. You're not gonna lose any momentum by having a lower shock on here. This is much lighter than a front suspension fork as well. And then again, this is above the platform, so when you are pedaling, you're not losing any momentum into that front fork. This was one of the best tools I think Specialized made. It is not gimmicky by any means, and I do like the system a lot. It works really well. You're gonna have three spacers underneath here to go ahead and rise it 15 millimeters. But yes, that's a very nice option. You also do get these kind of ergonomic lock-on grips right here. You have a SRAM NX shifter, which is a 12-speed shifter with your thumb action right here. And then for the brakes, it's a Tektro mineral oil brake system on here, very similar to Shimano. Nice affirmative grip on here, works really, really good. Going down here, we have the Specialized logo here in black. We have a fender mounting bolt right here. And then also we have here the Specialized Sirrus X wheel set, which these are alloy. They have a little bit more of an aggressive deep dish wheel set on here with their own Specialized hub. And nothing crazy about them. These deep dish alloy wheels do look nice, they look aesthetically, but they are a little bit heavier. For the tire, these are a 700 by 38C tire. This is the Pathfinder with a smooth point here in the middle, and then you have this aggressive bite here, like I said before. And this can be taken up to a 42C. For the rotors on here, this is a center lock rotor. Oh, that's nice. This is a little bit of an upgrade. A center lock Tektro rotor on here with a 160 millimeter front disc brake caliper. It does have some integrated of the cable system right there, and then going down the bottom, we can see we even have another spot here for a water bottle right there. Again, this looks to be a threaded bottom bracket system like a BSA. I don't know why they put a square taper in there. That makes it look really cheap for this crank, especially at that price point. I wish they put some kind of dub crank inside there, but whatever. At least we know that the square tapered are bomb proof and they will last forever. Those square tapered are highly underrated, and they will work really, really nice. You do get a SRAM crank on here, and this is a 1x chainring setup, so obviously you cannot mount a 2x on here. This is a 44 tooth chainring, and then it has a SRAM 12-speed chain, and then in the rear a SRAM NX cassette. This cassette here is going to be a 10 50 tooth cassette, and this is attached to a Shimano Frio body on here as well. So some people forget about that. If they ever do want to upgrade this cassette later on down the road, this is not an XD driver, this is a Shimano Frio body. You do have a SRAM NX rear derailleur, which is a 12-speed system as well. And the same tires on the front, they're on the rear. It's the Pathfinder Pro and a 700 by 38C. The rotors themselves, again, is a 160 millimeter in the rear with a through axle on here. You do have some nice kind of graphics for the 5.0 logo right here, and then it's an alloy seat post. You could add some carbon fiber seat posts to this to make it a little bit more comfortable. You do have your own proprietary wedge right here. And then for the saddle, you get a Specialized power saddle with a nice little cutout for the blood flow area. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this bike. The X 5.0 was a very popular bike that we sold back in the day. A lot of people were interested in it. Do you think that people are gonna want this bike even more or less because of this design? I think the 5.0 is a great bike. It was always meant to be one by, so why not eliminate that and make this a little more compliant? And time will tell to see how the longevity of this bike is. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.